Oh, oh god. Okay. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest celebrity news, reality TV. Ooh, I see Patrick and France. You're up late. And of course, reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live. I hope you're having an amazing day. It is so good here, nice and warm, sunny. I've got my green dress on. I think it's from TikTok. For St. Patrick's Day. So I hope you're having a great St. Patrick's Day. Wishing you all the luck, all the four-leaf clovers, all the things. We have missed you too. Welcome, Cecile and Kimberly J. I've missed you too. If you are on TikTok, thank you so much for joining there. Make sure you tap the screen. If you want to join in comments, join me over on my YouTube channel, Sarah from Texas Podcast. Same thing on Instagram. Get in comments, chat with each other. But if you really want to come on and chat with other people, get on the YouTube. Okay, let's get started. Lots of podcast news going on. Okay. So who doesn't have a podcast at this point? Okay. And of course, we're going to chat Andy Cohen also. So we know that Brynn from Real Housewives of New York City announced her podcast last week. We've already chatted about that. This morning, starting off the day, we get 3 new announcements. Let me know if you're excited about any of them or if you're kind of podcasted out, right? If you've already got your people you listen to, like Sarah from Texas, thank you. Okay, starts off with my girl, Erin Leachy and her husband, Abe, are starting a podcast called Come Together with Dear Media. I don't know how these almost parents of 4 little kids can make any more time in the day. They seem to work very hard. Do not forget, Abe is an attorney. He's an entertainment attorney. So Erin Leachy, other than being a housewife, is a designer. She's a realtor. I mean, she's a mom. She's very pregnant. But somehow they're going to squeeze in this podcast that is supposed to be a little of them together as a couple, a little serious, a little fun, a little of her alone with other guests, a little of him alone with other guests. So I really think they're going to kind of do it the way it works for their schedule, depending on what is going on. Okay. So let me know if you're going to listen to Come Together. This one I have absolutely zero interest in. Michelle from the Valley. Yes. The one that was married to the douchebag. What's his name? Oh gosh, Jesse. I was going to say Jally. Jesse. She is going to have a podcast. I don't even think I took 2 seconds to read what it was about because I really don't care. It's called Pursuit of Sassiness. Okay. I don't know. She's a realtor. Like, is it going to be about real estate? Is it going to be about being sassy? Is it going to be about being a mom? It's going to be about being a divorcee, about being a single woman. I have no idea. Didn't really give 2 shits. Another one that I might give 2 shits about, Gia Giudice. Now, this girl graduated from college a couple of years ago. This is Teresa Giudice's oldest daughter. She's going to have a podcast called Casual Chaos with Gia Giudice. So, mom and stepdad Louie already have a podcast together, sort of, although it's mostly Teresa's. And, she talked about going to law school eventually. I don't know if that's still going on. I don't know if she'll get married to the guy that she's been dating for years. I have no idea. But I really might listen to that Mary says I might give Come Together a try. I mean, I do sort of like Erin Leachy. Y'all know that, right? And of course I love, Abe. He's very nice and very sweet. Yeah, it is too many podcasts. They act like with every podcast that's announced, like we get 1 more hour in the day. No. We still all are limited to 24 very precious hours in a day. Even if you want to fast forward through every commercial on your Spotify or your Apple or wherever you get your podcast, there's not this much time in the day to listen. Something's got to give, right? We got to do dishes at some point. Like, seriously, no idea. The one I talked about last week also is Nene Leakes. I am assuming it's available also as a normal podcast, but on YouTube, it's called the Nene Leakes Show. Now, I still haven't seen anything like usually I'll see clips on TikTok or something big, or maybe whoever the company is that she's with would have put out some clips of the podcast that I would have seen by now. I haven't seen anything. So let me know if you've seen anything about this. We're just talking about the birthdays. Is it Michael's birthday today? Michael, is it your birthday today? No way. I can't tell. Lisa's number 17 on the 17th. Happy birthday, Michael. And it was just your son's birthday. So y'all birthdays vary. Yes, Kimberly J. I announced it last week. Okay, so are you a Nene goddess? Okay, so this is interesting. Kimberly J says, wait, Nene is a goddess of mine. What the hell am I missing? She has a podcast called The Nene Leakes Show, and it is on YouTube. It was about an hour and 10 minutes was her first one. And I haven't heard anything about it. So somebody rudely, imagine that, commented this weekend. It was like, you have no right to say that she's not famous because she doesn't have you haven't heard of this podcast and she has more subscribers than you. I'm like, of course she does. Like, Nene Leakes is huge. Don't get me wrong on that. My point was, whoever is marketing this podcast, this Nene Leakes show, is not doing that great of a job, because I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I haven't seen anything. And as y'all know, I'm all over the blogs. I'm all over TMZ, everything. And I haven't seen any clips of this at all. So very interesting. Yeah, Beverly says, if Gia's podcast is like her Amazon Lives, it won't last. She needs training and a dictionary. Like mama, like daughter, I guess. Raquel says, today's Jeff Lewis Live was boring and so repetitive. I just can't. The topics are the same every week. It was a lot of the Poland Patrick thing with Michael Beck. We will talk about that soon. But first, let's chat about Andy Cohen. So the rumors have been out there. I saw even more this weekend. Apparently, Dumois has been saying for a while that there's some big announcement that Andy Cohen's going to announce in April. And I told y'all last week, I don't believe any of this. The rumor is that he's going to step down or have a very limited capacity of Bravo. Well, I don't believe that at all. For one thing, who else would do it? But also, no matter what he's worth, he is only, I think he's about 55 years old, maybe 56. He loves working. Like, I listen to him 4 days a week on Andy Cohen Live. I watch What Happens Live. I watch the reunions. I feel like I know Andy Cohen. I don't feel like he wants to step down from work anytime soon, and especially out of the limelight of Bravo. I feel like he loves it. It's his baby. I feel like he does well at it. He just built a beach house in the Hamptons after renting a place there for like 2 or 3 decades. He is in the process of remodeling a new apartment in New York City, all while trying to sell the other ones. His 2 kids are very young. Like, I don't feel like he's going anywhere. So he finally talked about it on today's Andy Cohen Live, and he said, there's no big news. The rumor's not true. And also, Dumois is saying that Bravo is going to have some huge announcement. And he's like, no. He goes, I mean, we might have some, they call them upfront. So this is where the reality TV stars or the TV stars of a new show all come out for ABC or CBS or Netflix, whatever, Bravo, and do marketing and promotion. So this is Andy talking about the upfronts coming up. He's like, I mean, Bravo might announce some new shows. He's like, but there's no huge announcement going on. He's like, there's nothing there. So yeah, true. Raquel says, I guess if their reality show doesn't come back, then they go to podcasts. I mean, they're already, like, Erin is huge on social media. Like, I started following her immediately when she was announced at BravoCon for New York City, because she is just the one that I was drawn to. I just really like her and what have you. I think she had like 40,000 followers at the time. Now I don't even know how many she has, probably at least 500,000, if not more. So she's got a huge following. She posts a lot on social media. She does a lot of ads. She does a lot of paid things where she has these clicks where people can, buy her clothes, buy her kids' clothes, her decorating stuff, and she gets a percentage about it. So she's already doing that. but she's also a realtor. Like, she has a real job. She also has a design business. Like, she has real jobs. And she's also about to be a mother of 4 young kids. So she is very busy. So I don't know. I just I assume Real Housewives of New York is coming back. I don't think it's gonna have everybody on it, but I'm ready for the announcement for sure. One thing Andy did admit to, though, is that he smoked dope for 3 hours with Amy Sedaris. So, he only posted a picture of the coloring event that he did with Amy Sedaris, but if you listen to the show, he let us know that they were just smoking doobies together for 3 hours and getting high. So, he does not shy away from that, and he does not shy away from admitting it. So, I love me some Andy Cohen. Okay, so let me know if you think it's true. Is he I don't think he would say anything at all if it was true and he did have some big rumor that he was stepping down, or if Bravo had some big rumors. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to do that. Hamilton says Andy is not perfect, but I love Andy. So do I. And I love that he's not perfect. I love that he talks about his kids. And sometimes he's upset with his kids. And sometimes he really has a great weekend with his kids. Like he said this on today's show. He was really bragging about their time together. They play a game called Favorites where they say, like, what's your favorite ice cream? What's your favorite whatever? And Ben told him, yeah, Dad, that game's kind of boring. And then they played the raise your hand. It was something, the Cohen game. And it was like, raise your hand if you love being a Cohen. And so they all 3 raised their hands, raise your hand if you love this. And they would all, and he said it was really like a fun. I mean, he's so cute. He's so cute. I don't know. Jordy says Andy would never and can't comment or confirm any news before the network does. He's bound by contract. There's definitely something coming. Stay tuned. Well, what do you think it is? I don't feel like he and John Hill would have addressed it at all if there was any truth to it. Realtor. I like realtor. Realtor. It's really hard. Realtor. I like saying realtor. Realtor. Okay, Hannah's correcting me. I'm going to say it right. Realtor. No, I got a really. Realtor. Anyways. Oh my gosh, Sarah Lee says Ryan Bailey said the only path for Real Housewives is prison or a podcast. Well, then I guess it's good that they're doing a podcast, right? Yes, Heather says nothing like our children to humble us. Exactly. And Ben is 6 years old telling his dad, yeah, that game, I'm kind of over that. You know what I mean? Oh, house agent. Is that the new term for realtor? House agent. Oh, fancy. Okay, let's move on to 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 5. Why am I getting a violation warning over on TikTok? Please tap the screen over on TikTok. It would really help. It would let people know that y'all like the video, that y'all aren't. Don't be turning my video in. Anyways, okay, Real 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 5 was on last night and on a commercial. I mean, I guess they know what they're doing. They wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't a huge moneymaker, right? If there weren't people like me feeling so insanely obligated and obsessed with watching all the 90 Day Fiancés that I can, there is yet another one coming out April 7th called 90 Day Fiancé Diaries. Now, I thought that was only during COVID. Now, what I liked about TLC, they didn't stop production. They put the masks on. They had the cameras. They said, you need to film yourself. Like here's a selfie stick, what have you, during COVID. But eventually, when people started traveling more and it became a little more safe for production to get in people's houses and stuff, they just did it from a safe distance, right? But the Diaries is coming back and there's no COVID. Well, I guess there's COVID, but there's no pandemic anymore. So what I saw is, what's the girl Jenny with, what's her husband's name? I don't think it's Sanat. That's not right. Sanat? Is it Sanat? Anyways, whatever the guy's name from India, where the mom really hated her because she's, of course, 3 years older than Sanat. I'm saying that name wrong, but I feel like it's something like that. Anyways, now she's saying she and her mother-in-law is her best friend. I'm like, well, yeah. Y'all are the same age. You know what I mean? Oh, I could see that happening for some reasons, like, maybe it would just be on, like, Monday through Thursday, which, you know what? When is Mo I feel like it's only on Sunday through Thursday now. Watch What Happens Live. Sherry says, "Maybe Watch What Happens Live will stop being nightly." I mean, they already stopped being live, right? Nabu says, "My son said when I was at my heaviest, quote, your tummy is like Santa, mummy." He was 4 at the time. He's 27 now. Help me to slim down right away. Well, I need my kids to tell me something like that. If that's all it takes, right? Samet. Yes, thank you. Is his name Samet? Okay, not Sanet. Samet. Don't y'all remember when that first started and he was like hiding? He had a wife. Like that dude was full on married in the very beginning. Like he was absolutely lying to her. Now he was in an arranged marriage that he wasn't happy in and all that, but wow, don't forget about that. Aw, Sarah says, "My nephew loudly asked me if the man in front of us had a baby in his belly. He was 4." Aw. I mean, some men look like they've got a baby. Okay, which is your favorite couple? I can't believe I'm gonna tell you that Sarper and Shekinah are becoming one of my favorite couples of this season. Okay, so the ones that were featured on episode 5 were Sarper and Shekinah. They finally get to LA. They are in the airport, and the first thing she does is stops and like passionately. And I have to say, they are pretty passionate people. It was very good to see because some of them kind of act like friends. You know what I mean? So some of them I start wondering, are you really in this or just wanting to come to America? Sarper and Shekinah, he comes from Turkey where you cannot publicly make out with anyone, whether it's your wife or whatever. You just don't do it. That's just not their culture. So they totally make out in the airport. No one even blinks an eye, even with I'm sure they had a selfie stick of their own doing that. But he gets to her apartment and she's kind of warning him. But I don't think even I was prepared for how small this apartment is. Now, they haven't showed the upstairs. You can see some stairs going up. So I'm assuming that's where the bedroom is. I guess I kind of figured don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's expensive as heck to live in LA. No telling what her apartment costs, right? But she is 43 years old. Her daughter goes to boarding school. So I guess I figured she came from money or her ex-husband had money. Maybe she had a really good deal. I don't know. But this apartment is her work live space. You walk in, there is a kitchen, but the entire corner is like floor to ceiling, like beauty products and stuff, machines, a chair. I mean, she must be an anesthetician or anesthetist or whatever that calls you, the people that do all the Botox and the whatever. And then she tells Sarper, who clearly diet, nutrition, fitness is his career, but it's also his passion to stay looking like he does. And she basically says, "Yeah, I don't really cook here because I don't want the smells for my clients that come in." He's like, "Well, how, like, I can't cook eggs for breakfast?" She's like, "No, but you can buy all of that ready-made." Okay, you're still going to heat it up. Then she tells him, "Oh, and by the way, every time a client comes over, they're females and they don't want you listening to our conversation. So you're going to have to get out of the apartment." So he can't even work there. Nobody can work there until they get married. So at least 90 days or whenever they get married, only have 90 days to get married on the K-1 visa. And then they have to apply for the green card, right? Oh, I think he's definitely disturbed. Sarper is seriously disturbed, Sherry says. I mean, right? I mean, Cecile. She says, "I can't stand watching the threesome, whatever it's called, a throuple." We will talk about them for sure. Oh, I remember that. That was so gross. And she allowed him to do it. She's got just as many like body dysmorphia issues. I mean, clearly look at the money she spent. She said that she gets pulled aside every time because she looks nothing like her passport. Well, a passport the picture can only last 10 years. So that means she's had so much work done in the last 10 years that it doesn't even look like her. If you've seen the pictures, it looks nothing like. It's kind of like Kyle Richards now. I mean, her old pictures look nothing like her. Sherry's reminding us that Sarper used to measure Shekinah daily and told her if she could eat or not. Remember he was weighing her too? Oh my goodness. Um, okay, Mark and Mina are next. This is the one that he's like 58, she's like 35. She's got 2 kids. I think 2 different, well, definitely 2 different baby daddies because Mark is the baby dad of the 2-year-old. Then she has a 9-year-old still in Paris. She hasn't talked about that other kid in like 2 episodes. Also, she was bawling the first episode. Mark is like on eggshells. This Mina girl has him terrified of her. And the other woman in his life, his daughter, Jordan, he's got his Mark is terrified of her too. And the bad thing is, Mina and Jordan don't like each other at all. Because apparently, and I get this is going to happen more and more. But this is kind of a thing that's happening the last 10, 15 years or so, where divorce is so much more common when people are younger. Like, in other words, when people have kids younger, and then the husband goes on, and wives too, if they're still of childbearing ages, but the women might marry an older man like Marcus, 58, who has 2 grown kids in their 20s, and then he goes and has a baby with Mina. So I understand what Jordan is saying. Like, she's like, look, you're my dad. Like, I know you and mom divorced, but I didn't think that you were going to have a baby at this age. Like, I'm thinking of having kids in the next couple of years. I didn't think that y'all would have a 2-year-old and then maybe have more kids eventually. You know what I mean? Wait, what? Southern Bell Cell says, have any of you heard the tea? Former President Obama is in an open marriage and dating Jennifer Aniston for a while. I went down the rabbit hole. It seems true. Oh my goodness. Well, I want to see the documentary on that. And I definitely want to see the 2020 interview. The only thing I've seen is TMZ is showing lately that President Obama, or former president, is doing like things by himself away from Michelle Obama. And I'm like, honey, they've been married 20, 30 years or longer. Like, you're eventually going to do things, separate. You know what I mean? But if they're in an open, wow, interesting. I'm still in shock. The first video I saw of President Obama smoking a cigarette, like they hide that stuff so much. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyways, Hamilton says, respectfully, not a chance. Which one's not a chance? That they're in an open relationship, or that he and Jennifer Aniston have been dating for a while? How could the president, I mean, he still has, every former president has security around them all the time. Even their kids do. Michelle does, everyone. How could all that go on in 2025? And then with a famous person like Jennifer Aniston and no videos come out? Like, do they protect them? Who knows if that's a rumor or not? Anything could be happening. Okay, so Mark and Mina go meet Jordan and her boyfriend at the beach. Jordan is very honest with Mina. She's like, look, we flew all the way to Paris to watch the baby's baptism. You were 4 hours late to her party. She's like, well, that's just me. I had to have hair and makeup. I'm like, I wouldn't like you either. Like, you were there, like, right away. That would make me not like someone. First of all, if this is your 5-month-old's baptism party, and you're 4 hours, first of all, how the hell long was the baptism party? I mean, we're Baptist. When we have a party after the baptism, we go to brunch and pay for everyone's lunch. Like, that's pretty much the party. We don't do a big whatever. So I don't know what they do in Paris, but she was 4 hours late to it. And people had flown there, not necessarily for the baby's baptism. It was really to meet this person that the dad is, planning to eventually marry. You know what I mean? I do not. Raquel says, hey, Sarah, do you catch Stu's podcast? I catch clips of it sometimes, because sometimes he does a podcast with David Yontef, and I follow David Yontef. So sometimes they come up in my Instagram, but I don't, y'all know this. I don't make a lot of time to watch or listen to a lot of other podcasts. I just don't have time for it. Just watch a lot of TV. You know what I mean? I know. I love Jen. She's so beautiful to me. Lisa says, I really still can't believe Jennifer Aniston is not with a man or married. Not that makes you any better or worse. Nobody needs a man or needs to be married. But I felt like at the time she was honest that she wanted to be married, and I think admitted that she wanted to have kids. So it makes me sad for her that that reality never happened. You know what I mean? Oh, I love that. I think he's done that before. Jean Marie says Stu was on KTLA this morning making Irish food. I love him. Well, this is his day, St. Patrick's Day. He is from Ireland, so oh, I love that. Link in the groove. Link in the Golden says, I'm starting to really like Stu's podcast. He's getting in his groove. Love that. Um, anyways, I love that she's being honest, but I kind of agree with Jordan. But this is something that's going to be more and more common, I feel like, as fertility, women are dating older men, not as much the opposite way, but the women still want to have a kid. And then with the married older man, well, then they might have older kids already from a previous marriage, which is going to make things awkward, right? So I totally understand Jordan. At the end of it, though, Mina basically tells Jordan, I really don't want you to come to my wedding. And Jordan was like, okay, not come to my father's wedding. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, this is not going to end well. I feel like Mark is going to end up lonely. I feel like he's going to end up not having a relationship with his daughter, maybe his son too. We don't know much about that. And I feel like Mina's going to end up taking the kid back to Paris because she loves Paris. And I feel like that. So who knows? The other couple, Stevie and Maddie, he's the one that came over from Iran. This is the one I'm really rooting for. But let's not forget, she's got kids that he has still not met. I don't care if they have a 50-50 arrangement. I don't know what the custody arrangement is with her ex and the kids. They're probably not going to talk about that at all. She's not talking about her kids. It does look like a very small house. That's going to be a lot to get used to. Maddie is only like 27. I think Stevie is 37. He's not a dad. And being a stepdad instantaneously is going to be a huge adjustment for them. The only thing going for them is they do seem genuinely in love. And I really hope that's the case. He does seem very concerned about missing his family, which I totally understand because of all the political stuff of Iran and US. He doesn't think he's ever going to be able to go back. So that's very different than someone like Sarper, who, even though he was bitching and moaning about the 12-hour flight, he is able to go back to Turkey and visit his family. You know, it doesn't feel like, you know, Maddie feels like he's ever going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? That's true. I don't know if that's true, though, Stoney. Sarah Lee says, I wouldn't be surprised if Jennifer Aniston is keeping her personal life private. She's been through a lot. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you know, might as well, right? Wait, what? Southern Belle. Oh gosh, I haven't heard of Al Gore in forever. How old is Al Gore? Is he still alive? Southern Belle says, I was at a party on a houseboat at a dock, and I assume that's who you mean. Al Gore's daughter was there. We could not find or see any security. It was interesting. I think they try to blend in. I don't know. I have no idea. No, I literally haven't heard Al Gore's name in 15 years. But y'all know politics ain't my jam. Okay, so Maddie does meet her family. Everything seems to be going well with that. I'm really rooting for that one. I'm with Cecile on this one. The throuple. Matt is 37. Amini is 30. Annie, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is like 36. Annie is from Tijuana, Mexico. And Matt and Amini are from San Diego. So only like 15 minutes away, but it's a whole ass other country. So Matt and Amini would have to divorce, which they're willing to do, for Matt, I guess, to marry Annie and then bring them into their life as a throuple. This couple is physically very beautiful. Don't get me wrong. The tits are high and tight. The lipstick is nice. The skin is beautiful. The hair is beautiful. They are so disgusting. Just grosses me out. They had this bed scene. It's just like they want I mean, this is just my conservative nature coming out, but they're gross. They just seem like they're begging for everyone to ask them, like, do y'all sleep together? Like, they just want all this attention. I get it. But the hotel guy that was like, "Oh, do y'all need another bed?" They're like, "Oh, another bed?" Like, "No, we have plenty of bed. This is for all 3 of" I was just like, "Ugh." Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That girl was great. Lisa said on Pillow Talk, Kim called the lady with the cows in the house called her? Oh, how funny. Ribeye and brisket. Oh my God, my kind of girl in that house. Oh, yeah. So that was Shekinah's friend who clearly is wealthy, and she has 2 little baby cows, Ribeye and brisket. Those were really cute. Um, Sarah says, I saw where Vile, Kelly Dodd, discussed her guess. Ew. On how long Teddy has to live. The woman has no bottom. Oh, that's awful. I haven't seen that. That's like nobody needs to discuss how long anyone has to live on this earth. We are very lucky to have every single day that we get. And she has 3 young kids. Like, as a mom, like, why would you? Okay. I can't with Kelly Dodd some days. I can't. Okay. This threesome, though. So Amini finds out that Annie's family is very Catholic. Her dad goes to the church every single day, and yet she's very disappointed that she's being hidden, that she hasn't told them, "Oh, well, I'm with a boyfriend and I'm with his wife, who's my girlfriend." Like, hello. Like, that is not exactly, like, seriously, but she's like all mad about it. So then the 3 of them apparently have some, sexy time. And Amini, whatever her name is, gets a headache or doesn't feel good, whatever. They were trying to get her to whatever. She goes to sleep. Well, this girl must sleep pretty darn. She either sleeps very hard or Matt and Annie are very tender with each other. Okay. And not very loud at all in a hotel room. Because they apparently banged it out while Amini was sleeping. And then the next day, while they sat in the hot tub, she told them that they had sex. And then, of course, Amini gets mad, going, "Well, you got to tell me. You got to like ask me permission." And Matt's like, "Well, I didn't know it would be a problem. I'm just calling it." Amini and Annie are going to end up together, and Matt's going to be left watching the kids. Like, I don't know. I don't know how this throuple is going to work out. I think the jealousy is going to be an issue. I think bringing other kids into the issue with her 2 daughters, I just think it's ugh, ugh, like it's grossing me out. I think she has dogs. Cecile says, and I forgot what other animals she has. I think she has dogs. Oh, she has goats also? I don't know about that one. I don't know. Southern Belle says, "It wasn't that big of a party. I knew everyone except her and her awful boyfriend. He was an arrogant asshole." Oh, wow. No idea. Like, maybe I don't know. Maybe at some point you don't get security. Like, maybe you only get it for the next 15 years or so. I have no idea how that does anyone know how that works? How you get security after being the president or vice president? How long the kids get security and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. Yeah, gross. I don't think they're gonna work out. Okay, another one. The age. Aaliyah. No, not Aaliyah. Douglas and Sean fell in love. Okay. Douglas at the time was about 22. Sean was about 59. Sean was married, has 3 adult kids. Then Douglas she transitions and becomes Aaliyah. Now she's 25. Sean is 62. And she got approved for the K-1 visa. Aaliyah seems very excited about coming to America. Not necessarily for Sean, who's 62 years old. 25 and 62, very different ages. I mean, this is making me think of that Bill Belichick guy and the young model girl that's like 23. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, yeah, he loves her. Sarah Hicks says, "I can't believe that Jeff will have Vile Kelly at ChumpCon. Eek." She's got a lot of fans, but who can even stand? I mean, if she really said that, I don't know because I'm just taking what somebody said, and I always think you have to listen to for yourself, because she may or may not have said that exactly. I don't know, although she said that stuff and worse before. Yeah, how do people like defend her with saying stuff like that? It's kind of gross. I don't know. Southern Belle says, I'm going to start watching Stu's podcast. Is it always on YouTube? Does anyone know? Yeah, somebody else going to tell you, because I don't know. I know it's up as an audio podcast. Not every podcast is up on YouTube as a podcast. So Michael Riley says, yes, it's on YouTube. So I assume it's under Stu O'Keefe, Stuart O'Keefe, Chef Stu. I don't know what channel name it's under. I don't know. They're going to be interesting. I just think that they've already kind of ruined it with showing us that she tries to back out of the wedding. So I don't know why they had to show us that. That was kind of weird. Okay, Juan and Jessica. Jessica's best friend, Megan, is a little too close. Like maybe Jessica and Megan need to date. I'm not real sure. She was like crying when she learned that Juan finally admitted that he did cheat on Jessica, even though Jessica already knew this. Jessica's like, well, I didn't tell you because I knew it would hurt you so much. I'm like, it's your, like, I get being upset for someone, but like crying and being more upset, like, ugh. Rose says in all caps, Sarah, Kelly was speaking about a doctor perhaps saying that how long typically, but she did say it was not a prognosis for Teddy. I assume you mean good prognosis. Yeah, but just there's some things we need to say and some things we need to keep in our brains. You know what I mean? Or not put into the atmosphere, as they say. You know what I mean? Especially with, she's a mom of 3 little kids. Like, you know what I mean? Who is Anthony Cadis? Sherry says, what about Anthony Cadis, 61, and his 19-year-old girlfriend? Disgusting. I mean, I can't imagine. Not my deal. Sarah Lee says, I saw the clip. Kelly literally said her doctor told her the guess of a prognosis. It's disgusting. No justification. But see, yeah. I was going to say, Jeff will defend her. Jeff doesn't think, yeah. Yep. Thank you, Abby Duck. Everybody's reminding her to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much. There's 178 people on here. It'd be really nice if everyone hit the thumbs up button. Okay, so it ends with Juan and Jessica. I don't know. I think they'll end up together. He's going to have to find a job here. I don't know if being a stepdad to the 2 older boys and to the baby, it's going to be a little too much for him. I feel like he's very young, very immature, not used to that much responsibility. It's going to be a huge adjustment for them for sure. Oh, Katie's Kiedis. Okay. Kiedis is the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess a rock star always has a young girlfriend, so I don't know. But 19, like, yeah, they have nothing together. Kiedis. Okay, I don't know who that is. I can't tell you one song the Red Hot Chili Peppers sings, probably. I mean, maybe I can tell you a song. Maybe if you gave me like a guess of like 3. I don't know. Okay, let's chat today's Jeff Lewis Live. St. Patrick's Day. Shannon Bedore and Michael Beck were on. They're kind of, maybe they're getting into this where they just kind of have 3 people on, because they did this again today. Shannon Bedore and Michael Beck stayed on for the second hour. I kind of wonder if they're still getting paid the $500 for the next hour. I mean, I'm assuming so. It's a whole another hour, right? But that's a lot of money. And then Doug joined them for the 3rd hour. So now we're kind of getting into this rotation where it's sometimes 3 people. And I don't know when they announced this week's guest, if it was always, oh, yep, I know that song. Californication. Yes. Y'all do not want me to sing. Okay, I do know that song. Okay, so Shannon did admit that she is on tirzepatide, which is like one of the semaglutides, one of the Ozempic type drugs, for like a month. but she says it's not working for her. She definitely goes up and down on her weight. When she first started, obviously 11 seasons ago, she was very, very small, like size 2, she was very small. Now she is 60. She has kind of gone up and down in her weight, like a lot of us of those ages, but also she went through a horrible divorce, went through a horrible breakup, all the things. Definitely wants to be hired for ChumpCon. Think she would love that $10,000. I think she wants to be included. I think a lot of the Jeff Lewis chumps, the chumps that come on the show, not the listeners, well, listeners too, want to be at ChumpCon because they know it's going to be a big deal. They know it's going to be good for them. I feel like if any of them have something to sell, that is where the merch and all that's going to be sold. But now we know there's no real for real anymore. And she's kind of talked about, or kind of not talked about it in a way. The first BravoCon that I was at, they had the big, sales convention that they had in 2022 and 2023. I went up to her table and she wasn't really selling the merch there. I think they just kind of had a table. This is when she was with John Jansen. But in the past, just on the website, I bought the lemon tincture just for my friends and I to try. It's very peppery. It's like kind of got a red pepper thing to it. I don't believe any of those tinctures. And then, as y'all know, I have the leggings that were like $80 that not that great. They're that shiny, cheap material, like from the 80s or something. I don't know. So I'm not shocked. I know she had a food line that she tried to do also. I think you just kind of got to be all in. I don't think she's a business person, I don't think it was going to be her thing. I think she really tried to make it work, but she just kind of said it's done. She closed it down. But she talked a lot on the next 2 hours that she wants to be on ChumpCon for sure. He's 4'11". I've met him. No. There's no way he's that short. No. There's no way he's 4'11". I have met Michael Beck a couple of times. He is not 4'11". I don't think so. I can't even imagine. I can't think he's that. Now I'm trying to think if I took a picture with him or not. Now, every time I'm at an event, I usually have like 4-inch heels on. So I'm usually about, 5'11" with my heels on. But I don't think he's that short. That's very short, 4'11". I don't think Jeff would be friends with him if he was 4'11". I think they would always make fun of his height. Anyways, I'd have to look at him. Jeff is about 6'2", he says, 6'1", 6'2". I think he's at least 5'7", if I had to guess. But now y'all got me wondering. Anyways, okay, lots of callers and talk about Sonia Morgan and her live show. I guess she's just going to keep mentioning Jeff Lewis's name because people are going to call in. They're going to talk about it. They're going to make videos about it. They're going to blog about it. Well, maybe that makes more people want to go to Sonia Morgan's show. If you've been around for a while, you know that my friend and I went to Sonia's show May of 2022. Wow. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's gotten any more well-produced. Doesn't sound like she's any less drunk. Doesn't sound like she's any less of a liability, as Jeff Lewis likes to call her. Yeah, it was an interesting show. We had VIP tickets, so we took pictures with her. And she was just complaining about like how she had to drink tequila because, you know what? I wonder if she even has that. I doubt she does. Remember when she had the, what's the drink that's like real fruity? It's not wine. It's not liquor. It is called sangria. She had a Sonia Morgan sangria that was supposed to be at the event for us to drink or to buy the drinks, and they didn't ship it in time. So she was complaining that was a mess up and that she had to drink tequila instead. So she was definitely tipsy. Calling Jeff a mother fudger. She is definitely, and he is definitely not on board with her. And if you watch the Watch What Happens Live 15-year anniversary show, you'll see she was a hot mess. I mean, he's not making this up. But the fact that she told him, look, I don't like you, and I only like one other person less than I like you, I think he was like, I'm done with you. Like, you're a mess. I was going to try to forgive all of your drunkenness, but you're a mess. What he did let us know is that, yes, Raquel. Raquel says, Michael Beck said this will be his last ChumpCon he will organize. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I mean, as much as Patrick might be driving him crazy, he says, I don't know. I think so. Mary says it sure sounded like there's lots of tickets left, according to Michael Beck. I mean, we'll just have to hear when people are there, how many people go. You know what I mean? I don't know. Oh, no. Deja Monet says, I don't know why I've always envisioned Michael as like 6'2" or 6'4". I was way off. He's definitely not 6'4" at all, but I don't think he's 4'11". Now I'm kind of getting confused if I've ever taken a picture with him. Maybe I have. I'll have to look back. Anyways, Ty will be at ChumpCon, and apparently so will Michael Beck's new boyfriend, who Jeff said his first name. And Michael Beck was not ready for that. So, yeah, I don't know. Jeff definitely joked about the tickets. They definitely gave 2 sets of tickets away today. I guess they'll redo it on Friday. So even though one of the rules is for you to start following Jeff Lewis, I don't know how you do that if you have to unfollow Jeff in order to refollow them. You know what I mean? Because that's part of the rule of being trying to win the tickets. But I love the person that won because they sounded very excited. Did both people call in that won? I feel like they both did. I know Drew was one of their names. I don't remember what the other name was. Raquel says Michael Beck is Tom Cruise size. Now I want to go look at the pictures from every day because I want to see who he's sitting or standing next to. Like Shannon is like 5'8". Shannon is a little bit tall, maybe 5'9". Okay, Bridget said that Doug says he's 5'9". Shannon is about 5'9", if I thought. No. Stoney says, Sarah, if you got free tickets, would you change your mind and make a surprise cameo at ChumpCon? No. It's not about the price of the tickets for me. No. No. So much to say. No. Okay. Love Hotel is coming out soon. We don't know when. This is the show that Giselle and Ashley from Real Housewives of Potomac did, and then Countess Luann and Shannon. So Shannon has made it clear that she's very single, doesn't want a man. She wants to wake up at the right time. She wants to do what she wants, go where she wants to do. I don't think she ends up having a boyfriend from that show. Countess Luann, we have no idea. If anything, she might have had some sexy time with someone. I don't follow Giselle and Ashley enough to know if they met anyone from that show. I can't imagine. I guess I'll watch it. I don't know. I'm not even that. I feel like it was recorded so long, like maybe, gosh, well, I guess it was like October. When did they go? No, September. I feel like they went away September to Love Hotel. October, November, December, January. That's a long time. Like put these out sooner. You know what I mean? I can't go during ChumpCon though because I've already got plans here. I know. Bridget says you and I can meet in New York City or somewhere else during ChumpCon. I know. I don't know how true that is. Somebody said that on the Royal Chumpette Ask Me Anything last night. Jeannie Marie says someone researched ChumpCon on a Facebook post and there's still 200 tickets available. I don't know how true that is because how would anyone besides someone inside, which somebody said maybe it was an insider that would be posting. I don't feel like Jeff would have anybody from the inside willing to get in trouble and lose their job to post the tickets that are available on ChumpCon on a Facebook group. But so I don't know. I don't see that. I haven't been sent it. I don't really know. Yeah. Michael Riley says, if there are 200 tickets available, this is going to be a losing money event. Yeah. And really, maybe Jeff will realize, like when he so boldly told his audience that, I was making all this money on my live event. No, honey, I lost money on that event. And I knew from the beginning or not from the very beginning, I knew eventually that the event producer was a hunk cut ties immediately when I realized that. It was not a money-making thing. So, um, Jeff can realize that there's a lot of things that go into a live event. And like for him, he's paying people a lot to be there and the flights and the everything. So it's a lot. I know. Michael Riley, I just don't know. I mean, clearly Michael Beck is going to have access to the ticket sales. I mean, I guess Kian and Annie and Shane might hear of it, but I feel like Michael Beck is the only one. And then whatever this lady's name is that he's talked about being his contact or helping him with his now event producing. You know what I mean? Well, I never had a contract, very interestingly enough. Lincoln the Golden says, could you not get out of the contract with the event guy? The problem was people had booked their flights immediately before when I just announced, before the tickets had even not even gone on sale. So I had this huge stressful obligation that people had already booked flights in a hotel before tickets had even gone on sale to the event. So that was a huge stressor to me. But don't think less than a week before the event, I was thinking, I am just going to post to everyone, hey, anyways, it's a long story. It was, Stony says, I saw the same thing on Reddit. And I don't know if it was true, but they posted all the available tickets and it was a lot, losing money. Yeah, I mean, somebody told me about that. I think it was on the Ask Me Anything last night. Somebody said that. And I'm like that was this detailed whatever of how many, platinum tickets had sold, how many gold. I don't know who would have that information. Like, unless it's somebody at the event, at the hotel or so, I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't imagine how stressful this is because I know for Jeff, he even today, he talked about Poland Patrick. Even though they're being a pain in the ass, Michael Beck says, he wants to make sure they're not putting out money for a conference room at the hotel, the resort. But he also doesn't want to have people coming up to their hotel room doing the things, which is what they've done in the past. Like I was at the living room in their resort at their hotel in Las Vegas when they did my coffee reading. And I never saw a Starbucks bag. But anyways, Jet says, Jeff doesn't need the stress or the money. He should stick to the cushy $10,000 dinners and small, intimate live events. Yeah, I think they're like me. And I think they thought it was going to sell out immediately. You know what I mean? Immediately, I thought they thought it was going to sell out. Okay, so on the second hour was Shannon Bedore and Michael Beck again, and then Doug joined in. Michael kind of got really brutal about Poland Patrick and ChumpCon in general, saying things like, I'm never doing this again. I'm not an event planner. I won't be doing this next time. Like, I think it's a lot more than he thought. No idea what his cut is in this. I know he is part of a, love if you would have a large meetup, Sarah Con. Yeah, that'd be funny. That would be fun though. That's kind of what it was. No, Bev77, is Jeff still talking trash about you? I saw an earlier show over the weekend and he was talking about someone bothering him and sending him mean letters. What a jerk. He wants listeners. No, that was not me. And I figured out who that was. And we already talked about that, who that was. And pretty much she outed herself on her social media. It was a fan that's, outed herself for sure. It was definitely not me he was talking about. Yeah, Tracy Smith, would it have been easier just to remain chumps and meet up at Jeff's events rather than creating an event of your own? I don't know, just wish it was like it used to be. Well, that was not my idea. Like, the event producer came to Annie with that presentation and then had a Zoom with me about it. So let's just say all the facts were not immediately presented to me, especially the money he assumed I was willing to pay to have this. So it ended up being just a hot mess. for sure. And lots of money, lots of money, lots of money. Yes, Cheryl from Van Nuys, Bridget. That's who we all have to assume based on what Jeff was saying, based on what she was posting on her Instagram. And, you know, I don't know if she's still posting about it. No idea. Shannon has a lot to promote. She talked about Wives on the Waves cruise, which is in September. Tickets are at fansatc.com. She took Jen Aiden's place, which Jen Aiden's been very quiet, right? Did I ever litigate over your event? No. Wrote him a check, mailed it, and just said, lesson learned. Very expensive lesson learned. That was more than just money. That became a lot more than just money, but it was a lot of money. Lesson learned there. Yes, beyond. Okay, onwards and upwards. That was so 2024. Okay, she will be on the cruise with Teresa Giudice and Dolores. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see the three of them hanging out. I don't see the fans being the same. I feel like they're going to be, I feel like OC fans are very different than New Jersey fans. Well, I shouldn't even say New Jersey fans, of Teresa fans. I feel like Teresa fans are very different than Shannon Bedore fans. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. At the end of the show was some weird, like, Kian and Michael drama over the bathroom. Did anyone understand what that was about? Like, Jeff tried to bring it up and bring up some drama between them, but then Kian was like denying everything. Like, I don't even know what was going on. Yes, you think? Lincoln the Golden says, sad part is it seemed to impact a lot of your relationships. It was the beginning of the end for sure. Anyways, it was definitely a low. Melissa says that's not selling out either, the cruise, and Lisa is a has-been, no one cares. Yeah, I think for these people to think that like people have like even $1,000 or 5 nights to spend with housewives, like these 3 housewives, I just don't think, I don't know, even selling an $80 or $100, live event ticket, the ones I've been to are never sold out. I mean, probably the Atlanta show for Countess Luann, like a couple of Christmas times ago, that's probably the closest to a huge venue that was, I don't know if it was sold out, but there was a lot of people there. That's probably the closest I've seen. So I don't know. Heather says, you did not want this for him, Sarah, but you did predict it at this price point and cost to people. Yes. So once we found out all the prices and the fees, I did wonder if it would sell out. And clearly we know that it's not. But it does look like Shannon Bedore will be hired, which will be interesting because, no matter that Jeff wants Shannon and Kelly to be friends, they're not. And Shannon's like, look, even if Kelly is nice to me, then the next day she's not a good friend to me. So, yeah. Cecile says, well, you found out who your true friends are and how cutthroat podcasting can be. Talking reality TV can be dangerous. Well, let's not put that out there because we don't need to talk about being dangerous. Sherry says, it seems like there's a quota to be met on how much they mention Kian. It bugs me for someone they barely participates on the radio. And he used to be so silent. Like he was literally radio silent that first time. And I've met him twice and he was very shy both times. Very shy. I don't know. That's a good point. Are any of these people pushing the needle? Like, are any of these people that they're adding making people add and buy a ticket? Lincoln the Golden says, does anyone think that Shannon will push the needle on ticket sales? No, I don't. Because I think if somebody has the money, just adding one more celebrity or Bravolebs is not gonna whatever. Thank you, Christina. She said Chumpets will always have your back. Thank you. Tracy Smith says, I feel sorry for Kian for some reason. Oh gosh, Lisa, did anybody see that Joe Giudice is making a TikTok cooking video? Interesting. I think he's done that before, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. I mean, what does he do for a job? Where does he live? Bahamas? Where does he live? He's not in Italy anymore, right? Oh, yeah, that is true. I'm very curious because only Jeff would know this. Just like I was told, so I didn't have control over the Eventbrite. The event producer did. Like I could never look and see. I never even got I could never know how many tickets I sold or whatever. I got a list from him, but I never had access to it. Let's put it that way. But every ticket that we sold was all my tickets. I sold no more tickets once the celebrity that he hired eventually, because it took him forever to get anyone, despite what he said he could do. No more tickets sold. So for me personally, no tickets were sold after the celebrity was announced, which was Kristen Tateman. So I knew it was very easy to track based on what he was telling me, at least, that no more tickets sold. They were all basically sold, the fact that it was a Sarah from Texas live event. So I know that Jeff can't necessarily know if somebody bought a ticket because of Jamie, but he can know, okay, I just announced Jamie and 10, 15, 20, 100 more tickets sold. They might attribute that to Jamie, whereas another one, they might announce someone and like, no more tickets sold. You know what I mean? Where My Key says, I feel like Jamie Kennedy would, but at the same time, it's not like these people are performing. It's like a chump zoo show. Like, go look at them. Well, and as much as Jamie wants to act like, oh, well, I do live events. That's what I do. I sell out on my own. I'm like, but you're not selling hanging out with you, where I feel like ChumpCon is selling hanging out with the chumps, hanging out with chump listeners, meeting other fans. You know what I mean? So thank you, Hamilton. Proud to say that I defended Sarah profusely in the comments. Yes. Thank you. And that was not easy to do because people were telling me how horrifically people were coming after them if they even said one thing or said, well, we don't know that that's true. You know what I mean? They were a few weeks ago. Belly's Up on Instagram says, I haven't really seen anybody really promoting much on their own. They did, each of them had like a graphic with their own name, and it was like, oh, come see me at ChumpCon. Here's tickets. They were all doing that like last week. But yeah, they kind of need to do that. I mean, look at Countess Luann. Countess Luann knows how to market. That girl is always posting videos of herself, always saying, hey, I'm coming to, Atlanta, I'll be in such and such, get your tickets. I mean, you have to promote yourself like crazy. That's the only way that tickets sell, because even though somebody follows somebody on Instagram, like Doug Buden or Ryan Bailey or Shannon Medore, whatever, you're not going to see every Instagram story that they make. You might be off Instagram for a couple of days. So you may not ever see that. Oh, he does construction? Like he did in New Jersey, I guess. Melissa says Joe Giudice lives in the Bahamas doing construction. Good question, Boo. Hey, Boo. He doesn't follow me anymore. Let's put it that way. So I don't know. Hey, Susan. Who is that? Christina says Chief Stu Hanna is on Australia Traders, and that episode is so good. The ending is epic. 2023. I don't remember Chief Stu Hanna. Don't remember which one she was. Anyways, thank you. Anyways, okay, well, we are going to wrap things up. Thank you so much for joining. If you are listening as a podcast, make sure to give me a 5-star rating and review. And if you're watching on TikTok and you want to watch the whole thing, it is available on YouTube or as a podcast, or on Instagram. It also is on YouTube or a podcast. See you tomorrow, same place, same time. Bye, Chumpettes. Bye, Instagram. Thank